How y'all doing, man? Y'all doing good? It's fantastic. Welcome to another Thursday episode of Smitty Snippets. Let me introduce you to the crew, Chris and Casanova. How y'all doing?
Hey
Hey,
guys.
Good, good.
hi
That's good. That's
everybody.
real good. That's real good. So, y'all getting in anything this weekend or what?
Um, I took off from work tomorrow, so to give myself a 4-day weekend. I ain't really got nothing planned, so we'll just see what happens. I'll play it by ear. But I was just happy to not be at work.
Chris, what you got?
Same. Same.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, good talk, everybody.
Yep.
Before we get into anything, I just want to let everybody know that we may have to make a schedule change next week. My son he's a swimmer now, and he swims Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I may have to figure something out. Either we're gonna continue to do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays and figure something out, or well, whatever we decide, we'll let you guys know, and we'll just go from there. So, Chris, you got it.
All right. To start, we're gonna start with Death in the DC film universe. A fan recently asked James Gunn how death will work in the new connected film/TV universe, to which Gunn responded, in the DCU, if you die, you're dead. In a follow-up, he added that he, quote, wouldn't mind using the Lazarus pit and or resurrection in a story, but it would have to be part of the story itself. I won't be killing major characters to have them pop up and be alive again. In the comics universe, the Lazarus pit was most associated with Ra's al Ghul and consists of a series of pools that can do everything from heal injuries and resurrect the dead to granting near immortality.
Ra's al Ghul.
So, listen, guys.
I'm sorry, it's not your fault.
So, what do you think about as opposed to what they do in Marvel?
Who?
The story that I just really went
No,
over.
who are you talking to?
And you take it. Smitty, you take it.
Um, I don't know. You got rules for the DC now? I don't care. When they die, they're dead. They're superheroes. They're superheroes. Does anybody really like?
But like a couple weeks ago, you said that you had a problem if there's no stakes. So if you're killing these cats and then they can constantly come back, like if he's saying that there's none of characters to come back, then technically there are stakes. And it's like, yeah, you're not probably going to kill Superman or Wonder Woman at the end of their flicks, but if you decide to do that, where you dust Lois, then it's like if Lois is gone, then that means that she's done. If Perry is gone, that means Perry is done. If Lex is gone, that means he's gone.
So I
So
probably
it's like
I
if you
probably
have the
explained it.
stakes in that, then good. But you can't say like for me, it's more of a like, oh, if they're dead, they're dead. And it's like, that's great for, the citizens of Metropolis or Gotham that you're never going to get their names for. But
Mm-hmm.
it was like for the major characters, I'm more interested in that. It's like, will you have the guts to kill somebody major? And then
Mm-hmm.
if that's the case and they're gone, then let's see them stay gone.
Right.
I think maybe the way that I explained it was incorrect. Like I don't want to see anybody who died come back to life. Like I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely don't want to see
Okay.
that. But it was a way that Gunn explained it. Like no, once they're dead, they're dead. Right? It's like it's non like it could never happen. Like that part is silly, right? But you got people who can,
Gotcha.
you understand? Like you got people who can
Mm-hmm.
fly and disappear and reappear in other places and eat planets, but waking up after you've been checked out is an impossibility. It's just, I mean, it's fine. I'm cool with it. Just
Well, okay, so quickly you each get one character. Casanova, will start with you. If they were to potentially off a character. We know most likely it's not going to be like Superman or whatever. So who would you anticipate maybe like their first one to be?
Lois. Get rid of Lois. It was like, I would not mind. It's like, I don't hate her, but at the same time, it was like, all right, the world's exploding. I got to go get in that ship and I got to go fight so and so. And then it's not just, it's not the 30s or the 40s where it's like, oh, I'll follow to get the story. Damn well you can't fight nobody that's on that ship. And Superman's going up there after getting his ass beat for 20 minutes and he's still going up. And he tell you to stay here. You need to stay here. You need to stay there, maybe go help evacuate some folks, get away from the area. Not, oh, let me go poke my head in so I can get a front facing view. No. It was like, I understand the reporter mentality, boots on the ground and whatnot, but at the same time, sometimes Lois take it to such an extreme where it's like, she just gotta go.
Okay.
It's like, let her go.
Good Lord.
It's like, it's all right.
I like that.
Smitty.
I like that. I'm also gonna go Lois because but it's gotta be done in front of Superman. Like he's gotta see it happen.
So rip his heart out?
Just give her the 1-2, like some superpower dude, just like tear her insides up, just beat the crap out of her, right? And have him watch, he can't do nothing about it. And then just watch him just melee everybody for the rest of the movie or whatever you're watching. Yeah, that'd be great. Who would you pick?
Oh my God. I don't know.
You'd pick a nobody.
It would be a nobody.
Who?
I don't know. A citizen on the street. I don't know. I have no idea.
She was gonna pick Gus. It was like, oh, Gus that works the coffee stand. It was like, hey, Gus, look out! Oh no, they killed Gus. She gonna pick nobody else. They killed Gus. Or like if they did it within, like it would probably take a couple of sequels or whatever. If they killed Robin. Like if they killed Robin in the Batman flicks, I would appreciate that because the Robin they're going to use did end up dying in the comics, and because it was comics and he ended up being more popular than people thought. They brought him back, but if James Gunn says dead is dead, kill Robin and leave him dead. It was like I would like to see that.
We're not killing Robin. All right,
actually, oh, he did die. I mean, if you remember. I mean, you probably don't remember because you don't read comics, but he did die, and they made reference to it in Justice League at the end, where Joker was talking to Batman,
no,
and he asked him,
not that one. That when Joker beat him with the crowbar. Yeah, it's like not that one. I want to.
That scene was good.
That was a good scene, though. Yeah, that was a good scene. But the Robin I'm talking about, the current one is that they're going to use in the movie is Batman's actual son, and they dusted him. And I would like to see that if they were going to do it and just have somebody stay dead. I would like to see that. And it was like I would like to see that.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're just all right. Fantastic Four popcorn bucket. Per Screen Crush, when Marvel announced they were releasing a gigantic popcorn bucket for the Fantastic Four First Steps in the shape of Galactus's head, they did not mention the price. Given that it was 17.5 inches tall and 20 inches wide, you knew it wouldn't be cheap. And folks, it's not. The AMC Theaters website lists the Fantastic Four Galactus popcorn bucket, complete with light up eyes. Smitty, I'm going to give you a chance to tell me what you think this popcorn bucket costs before I say it.
17 inches?
17 inches tall, 20 inches wide. 17.5 tall, 20 inches wide.
Let's see. I'm gonna say probably $75.
You're not far off. $79.95. This is the first popcorn bucket to break the $50 barrier. So
and that's for the bucket. That's not even for
with
the popcorn.
Still right.
The drink that you're going to have to get.
Right.
That's just for
$30
the bucket.
right there.
That's $100-some.
Yeah.
That's over $100 for that.
I need AMC to read the room. Read the room, AMC. People broke. Okay, we out here. We're not buying Galactus buckets. Okay, we got to eat. Not popcorn either. Just give me a regular bag. You can keep your big ass Galactus box.
I'm guessing they're expecting it obviously to become a collector's item. So
Yeah, it's like I think I saw somewhere that with these movies collectors buckets, people sometimes don't even go to the movies, but they will try to get the bucket or
mhm.
pre-order the bucket or do whatever they need to do to just have that to collect that.
I mean,
So
sometimes they got
And
good
that's
stuff.
kind of
Hey,
wild to me.
I'll show you one I got. I'll show you one I got from AMC.
well, why he's getting that? Is that like the one that they did for Deadpool Wolverine then? Casanova?
Deadpool,
Mhm.
Wolverine, Dune, all that stuff was like, well, screw those buckets.
Gotcha.
Sometimes AMC has some
Of
good
course,
stuff.
he
You got a
got the
Ghost Trap.
Ghostbusters one.
You got a Ghost
Jesus.
Trap, and it's pretty
That
good
makes
too. They put
sense because it's like you're
popcorn in this jank.
Yeah, like you're a big Ghostbusters fan, so it's like that makes sense for you to get it. It was like, Fantastic Four is all right. I'm not spending $80 on a fucking popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
And
that.
then you got that thing. It's
Listen,
like, and
I
now I
wouldn't
got to
give a damn
hold
if they
this
sold
the
them.
rest of the movie. It's like, how heavy is that thing? I got to hold this the rest of the movie. You got some kid playing with it with the light up eyes, and you're trying to watch the movie. It's like, hey, turn them lights
You ain't got
off.
space. You ain't got space in your car. You ain't got
Nope.
time for none of it. Listen, I don't care. And
Ugh.
Ghostbusters is my favorite movie. My favorite movie is
Mhm.
Ghostbusters, right? I don't give a damn if they were selling a bucket size, if they were selling a Slimer that size. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. You got to draw a line. You got to draw a line. Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Drop your price, AMC.
Ugh.
Enough, man.
Oh my
Enough.
goodness. All right.
I can see them doing the Transformers movie and friggin' the cartoon from the 80s. Oh, we got a Transformers the size of a planet, and here's our planet popcorn bucket.
You better
So it's
stop.
like $148.
You better
It's like,
stop.
ain't no way.
Yeah, they're
Ain't
getting
no
out of
way.
control.
All
Out of
right.
control.
All right. Spaceballs 2. Smitty, I know you like to hear that. It's like music to your ears, that one. The sequel to the 1987 Spaceballs has been announced. The title is Spaceballs 2: The Search for Money. The film is slated to be released in 2027. Deadline reports that both Rick Moranis and Bill Pullman are set to reprise their roles in Spaceballs 2, and that Keke Palmer and Bill Pullman's son Louis Pullman, recently seen as the Century and Thunderbolts, will appear in the film as well. So, is anybody interested? It's funny that it's called The Search for Money because I feel like maybe this film might be doing that exactly, searching for.
Yeah, it's a tongue-in-cheek reference to something that is like probably very true. But I did not care for the original Spaceballs, so I'm not interested in this at all. It's like Mel Brooks for me probably stopped with To Be or Not to Be, maybe was probably the last movie I saw of his that I really liked. And it's like some of his earlier stuff I liked, but I don't have no interest in this. Like, great for everybody that was looking forward to this or thought this was great or loved the first one, but I am not that one.
Smitty, did you I know we watched Spaceballs when we were younger. Did you like it, and are you looking forward to the sequel
No.
now so many years later?
No. The comedy is so cheese. It's so cheese. It's so low bar. Like we're combing the desert and they got a huge
A comb.
comb, and this is no. And somebody made that goddamn comb just specifically for that joke. No, these are lowbrow jokes. I don't give a damn about that movie. I didn't care about the first one. The only reason you may have I thought that I was watching it is because I was flicking through the channels, and you just happened to look over when I was when it popped up. But I was in no way watching Spaceballs. Now I'm happy for Rick Moranis because he took a long hiatus due to his wife passing, and he looked after
Yeah,
his
he had
children.
virtually retired.
Yeah, and that had to be tough for him. So for him to come back and do Spaceballs, I'm happy for him to be able to do that. But no, I won't be. No, nope,
Zero
not on
interest.
digital, not in the theater,
Okay.
nothing. No.
Yeah, I
And I
am
promise you,
curious if
they're
it's
gonna
going
do
to
it
go
again.
straight.
They're gonna sell his helmet. They're gonna sell his helmet as a popcorn
That's
bucket.
going to
It's
be the
gonna
new
be the
popcorn
same size
bucket.
as Galactus.
Yep.
I am curious if it's going to go straight to streaming. So, well, I guess
We'll see. Like Mel Brooks is 95, so I was like, all right, got to be around here somewhere. So they trying to get this done probably as quickly as possible. And I don't know. It's like I think you might be right. It might go to streaming. I don't know if they release this in the theaters or not.
Mel Brooks was always like like pushing the envelope as far as what you can and can't do. I think he did Blazing Saddles. Did you see that?
Yep. Blazing Saddles was amazing.
That would get absolutely no run today. As a matter of fact, somebody would be strung up if that movie came out today. There ain't no way. That movie wouldn't even made it out. They'd be like, "Oh no, nope."
Like there's no way. Like in the current climate, you couldn't release that, and if you did release it, it would have been. There would have been protests and burning movie theaters or something. More
have you seen? Have you noticed about Chris?
No. No.
So it's a it's a so the sheriff of this town is he's retiring. I think he's retiring, or he got shot or something. Right? The entire town is white, and the new sheriff is black. New sheriff is black, right? Every possible joke that you can think of, every negative thing that you can possibly think of, is said in this movie, right? And you're watching it, you can't believe, like, oh, are you serious? What? It is that bad. It is that bad.
It pulls no punches against race, religion, orientation. It's like there are no punches pulled in this movie.
Oh, well,
and it's like
I would ask a question.
It was a great movie. It's hilarious. But,
okay, all right. Well, all right. No, it's neither here nor there. Casting on Hunger Games: Sunrise of the Reaping. Glenn Close and Billy Porter have been cast in the Hunger Games: Sunrise of the Reaping. Close will play Drusilla Sickle, the cruel escort to the District 12 tributes, while Porter snagged the role as Mango Stift, her strange husband and the tribute's uninspired designer. The movie is currently scheduled to hit theaters November of 26. I've been seeing a few more headlines with regard to this movie. I'm not sure if I'm interested.
What's the movie?
Hunger Games, a new Hunger Games movie. I'm not sure if is there any interest in Hunger Games anymore?
I'd rather continue talking about Blazing Saddles or Mel Brooks' catalog than Hunger Games. Like I barely saw the first one, and I was like, I'm not watching this. And then it was like I didn't see any of the other ones. It's like this movie had the same disease of, oh, there's the final book. Let's break it up into 2 movies.
Right.
It was like I know you had that disease, but I don't have any interest in this at all.
Okay.
It's like, for anybody that was, fans of those movies or the books and just like, this is good news for you. I'm glad you have something else coming, but I will not be there streaming or theaters.
So you just basically copy pasted from your last one to this one. All right, Smitty,
it's 2 stories back to back that I'm not going to be there. You're not going to see me. I just won't see it.
Smitty, did you watch any of the Hunger Games movies?
So I saw the first one, and then like she won, right? She won. She did the thing, right? She did it, right? And then there's a part 2. For why? For what purpose?
Because
she did it.
Still up with their shenanigans, and she's trying.
So wait, didn't she finish the I think his name is Sutherland. The dude who ran the whole thing, right? Sutherland, right? Keith Sutherland's dad. I forget what his name is. Did he die in the first one or the second one?
Donald Sutherland and
Donald Sutherland. Did you watch Hunger Games?
I watched the first one, just like the two of you. Relax.
Okay, so did he die in the first one?
I don't know. How long ago did that come out?
Anyway, I think I used to like Hunger Games. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was I thought it had like a decent artistic kind of
came out
story to it. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know why they keep telling these. You know what I'm saying? Somebody go off, whoever keeps doing these goddamn games, and be done with this shit. Stop doing these. You know,
right.
I don't know how you've gotten to the end of the game, and somehow you keep letting this game go.
Yeah.
Why are we still hungry? Why are we still doing
I
games?
I don't think they're. I don't. Oh, okay, all right. Um, I don't. I don't think it's very specifically about them being hungry. I think it's just like the dystopian lifestyle that they're all living in, and it just keeps on going. Like I did watch some of the other ones after the first one. It just wasn't interesting. It was just something to have on while I was working. But whatever. Will Smith, in a recent interview with radio station Kiss Radio, to promote his new single Pretty Girls, Smith revealed that he turned down the lead role in Inception because he didn't understand the plot. The role instead went to Leonardo DiCaprio. Inception is on a painful list for Smith alongside The Matrix and Django Unchained of iconic movies he turned down during his career. While Smith knows rejecting Inception was a career blunder, it wasn't as painful in retrospect as his decision to turn down Neo in The Matrix. So we're not going to go into what we went into a few weeks ago with regard to him. However, knowing that, I don't know how everybody views it, but I don't think his career is on the same trajectory as it was since those events we discussed a few weeks ago.
Since he did what? Since what? Since what happened? Since what did he do?
But
what did he do?
Do you
I didn't see
think
it.
that
What happened?
do you think?
Did he do something?
Do you think his star would have shown brighter had he taken any one of those three roles?
No. Will Smith has had an incredible career.
Right.
An incredible
I'm
career.
just asking.
He can't do everything. I mean,
well, he could have. He just didn't understand the plot to Inception.
Can't understand the plot to Inception. Can't understand the plot to The Matrix. I think Will is possibly
Stop
not
it.
that smart with plots that are, more than it was
More
like
involved.
hero A does some stuff and then goes from there. It's like stuff with broader concepts. I think Will just doesn't get a grasp on. And he just like, oh, well, I'm passing on this because I don't understand it. And that's fine. It was like, there's going to be pitches to stuff that you don't understand it or you don't like. It's like he wasn't in Django because felt that he needed to be the one to kill the bad guy or wanted it to be a love story. And Quentin was like, oh, thanks for stopping by. And then just kept it moving and went somewhere else. So it's fine, but it's like the whole Beverly Hills Cop was originally something for Sylvester Stallone. You would have got a totally different movie.
Right.
It was like you would have had to rewrite. Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop initially was pitched to Sylvester Stallone. He passed on it for whatever reason, so they rewrote it and got Eddie Murphy. And then the Sylvester Stallone movie Cobra is essentially what Beverly Hills Cop would have been.
I was just going to say Cobra. God, that was a corny 80s movie. God damn, that movie was dumb.
So you get stuff like you would have put Will Smith in The Matrix. It probably would have looked a lot different because of his star power at the time, and he probably wanted to put some jokes in there, and the fight scenes probably would have been different. It would have probably just like I can't imagine what that movie would have been like. And the same thing possibly with Inception. It was like I think there's some stuff that he would have balked at that Leonardo DiCaprio was cool with. And that movie would have turned out totally different. It's like I'm not saying it would have been bad. I'm just saying you would have got a totally different experience.
All right.
Chris, you ever watch Cobra? You remember Cobra?
Yeah, I saw that years ago. It was terrible. That's all I remember. It's like I just remember it's terrible. It had a terrible poster, and this movie was terrible.
He had on a tight t-shirt, them tight jeans, and cowboy boots, and he always had a toothpick in, right, and he walked around with driving gloves and a semi-automatic. But he was a cop, bro. Who was your employer? Who was letting you come to work like this?
What police force are you on?
Y'all don't have a dress code?
I don't want to be part of that police force.
Well, I think maybe I could understand him not initially getting the concept of Matrix, right? Potentially, I could maybe understand that. But to say no to Matrix, but then sign your
But it's
happy
like,
ass
okay,
up for
so you
Cowboys and
pass on the
hold on, hold on,
Matrix.
hold on. But then to sign up for Cowboys and
Mhm.
Aliens, I don't like help
Oh, Wild
me.
Wild West. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
don't, I don't.
it's like, but that's the thing. It's like it's a simpler concept, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I get that." And then you go, but it's like my thing is you passed on the Matrix because you didn't understand it, and you saw what the Matrix did.
Mhm.
Years later, Inception comes down the line. They're pitching you to that, and then you don't understand the concept. So wouldn't it click in your head like, wait a minute, I passed on the Matrix, I understand that concept, and I went and did
Mhm.
Wild Wild West, and we saw how that turned out. Maybe I should do this. That was like, or just ask some questions. It was like you can't. It's like they're pitching you a movie. You can't ask questions during a pitch. You just have to listen. It's like you sit there like, oh, city folds up. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't understand why that is. It's like, oh, I go into somebody's dreams and try and convince them to do stuff, and that's the inception. And then it's like, there's a twist. Maybe I'm awake. Maybe I'm asleep. Like, it's like, oh, that's crazy. It was like I can understand that concept enough. It was like you can't tell me Jonathan and Christopher Nolan couldn't come to him and pitch him to something where he could understand it.
Right.
Like,
All right.
I actually liked Inception. I thought Inception was
yeah, Inception was
very
great.
well
Well, that's
done.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Inception was great, but then they pitched it to him. Will Smith like, I don't get that. It was like, is there
Yeah,
is
like
there Wild Wild West too?
like
Are we doing that? It was like send
yeah,
that
he don't
guy in. Let's talk
understand.
about that. It was like no.
He don't understand the brain movie. That's fine.
Right. It was like okay, well, it was like you told me all I needed to know. Thanks.
All right, we're gonna move on to quickly we're gonna move quickly through Black Panther 3 recasting. There's a rumor recently 33-year-old F1 star Damson Idris, who has become a popular casting choice among fans, was asked about the possibility of joining the MCU during an appearance on Today. Idris said during a game of yes or no that he would accept the role if offered to him, but has been cryptic on if he had any talks with Marvel Studios. Idris, whose breakout role was that of Franklin Saint in the FX series Snowfall, currently stars alongside Brad Pitt in the upcoming movie F1. So, is anybody interested in seeing him in the MCU?
No, he's
And
great. Snowfall.
He is a
he's a great actor.
fantastic actor. If you have
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
seen Snowfall, you need to watch that. That movie, I mean that series was
Hmm.
very very good. Very good. So, yeah, I cannot say enough about Snowfall. Snowfall
Hmm.
is up there with like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. It's
Hmm.
that good.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
I
All
would
right.
suggest you guys go watch that.
All right. And
It's
then
not for kids though. Definitely not for kids.
Oh yeah, it's not a good show.
Right.
That's not a get the family together and watch this type of show.
Everybody's not gathering around with their big ass popcorn thing for Galactus's head, $78, $79 for that.
My family would, my family would, but I don't think it's for everybody's family.
Okay.
But like, if he was to play, like, if he was to take on a role in Black Panther and end up being the new one, because they Shuri decided, no, I'm not doing this, or just got killed off, or whatever happened to that, and he was to take the role over, it's like I'll be cool with that. It was like
Okay.
I like him as an actor. He hasn't shown me anything crazy or
Yeah.
nothing else,
Mhm.
so it was like I would easily watch. Like I would have no problems accepting him in that role.
All right. And then guys,
I
we're
was
going to go
I
ahead.
was not happy with the last Black Panther.
Oh,
I think I mean, did you like it?
I didn't
I
dislike it. Go ahead.
It's like I liked it. It was like I think I liked it. Just I was just happy with the introduction of Namor and how they did it. But for some of the other stuff, there was stuff in there definitely that I could have left. But I think that was a hard movie to do, and I think he did a good job with what he tried to do with it. But of the MCU stuff, is probably on my lower tier of stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering if they're going to make it not simplistic, but a little bit more simplistic than
Yeah.
the
See,
last one. This one. What?
Dominic thought it was trash too.
Yeah.
I thought they wasted what was his name? What was the bad guy's name?
Namor.
Namor. They wasted him. They brought you didn't see Black Panther until the end of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and they had
Well, I mean,
they had his entire family, right? His entire family should have been mourning, and at least for me, should have mourned the death of the first Black Panther, and they just seem to have moved on from that shit like it wasn't nothing. Like Cherie was sad a little bit that he was gone, right? But everybody, they just kind of skipped over that shit, and then oh, I'm sorry, not his death, the Queen. They
right,
skipped over the Queen's death.
right.
Like she was like, oh yeah, I remember her. Yeah, she's gone. Like it just, she was super important to the
To the
story,
plot.
and
Mm-hmm.
they just, I don't know, they just kind of stepped over, and I didn't really appreciate that too much. So yeah, I mean, you're telling a fantastic story, and it's really good, especially with the tribes coming together and
Yeah,
all of that. And you're telling the Black Panther story, and how it's built around family and all that stuff, and that's fantastic. But at the same time, you're telling that story, you have to remember you're telling a story about Black Panther,
right.
right? It's still
And
a superhero like
I think
movie.
that's the problem that they were having with that one is they had so many different concepts built into the story, and they were trying to suss out like which one they should basically follow along or whatever. And I don't want to say they picked the wrong one. I just feel like they could have presented it. They could have presented it differently. But we're gonna move on to Casanova's segment. His video game moment. So Casanova, go ahead.
We gonna call this some video game bullshit. It's like everything's not gonna be bullshit as in bad, but it's just basically some information. And if there's some bullshit that is bullshit, I will tell you that that shit is bullshit. So first story we're gonna go is the James Bond game was announced at the Summer Game Fest, which is basically a what do you say? Basically, it's just a thing where they have for about 3 or 4 days. They go over they release a bunch of trailers, tell you about a bunch of games coming and all that other stuff. So it's basically one big ass conference for these video game companies. So the company IO Interactive, who are the makers of the Hitman video games, gave the first look at their new James Bond game, which is called First Light. Now, the game stars at James Bond that's at the age of 26. So this is the youngest Bond you're ever going to add any kind of access to. Is not the James Bond Jr. and no bullshit that they had back on TV. So this is well before he received his 00 status. So he's going to start as a Navy air crewman. And when against all odds, an audacious act of bravery propels him on MI6's most challenging training program. So this is an original standalone story, so it's not based on any of the movie stuff and any of that stuff. But so this should be new, and it's in collaboration with the folks that own the James Bond license now, Amazon and MGM Studios. So the game is scheduled sometime to release in 2026. But when that happens, it's probably going to be whenever Grand Theft Auto 6 decides to give its release date. So it's going to be well before, well after that, because anything even close to that is going to get destroyed. So, Smitty, what are your thoughts on them dropping the James Bond game out there?
Um, I might have to play this one. I hear that the original that was out for the Super Nintendo, or I think it was Super Nintendo. I never played it, but I hear that it was a
Oh,
classic. So
GoldenEye?
yeah, I never tried
Yeah,
that.
GoldenEye was good. It was like that. GoldenEye was definitely for that first person James Bond type of game. It was at the time it was trailblazing. I think people have those memberberry goggles on right now where it's like, oh, GoldenEye was so great, and you play it now, it's like, oh, this was all
Oh, it's
right.
trash
I
now.
remember as a
Trash.
kid being better. It's
It's
like
kind of
not
like going
trash,
back
but
and
it's
watching
like
A
just if
Team,
you
right?
remember
Like,
stuff and nostalgia goggles,
yeah,
it's like you take them off, and sometimes you look at stuff and like, I really liked this back then, but compared to now, it's like
right,
maybe it's not as good.
right.
So it's like you have that, so that's coming. More video game bullshit. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. That will be the next game in the long running Call of Duty franchise. And it's just basically called right now Call of Duty Black Ops 7. It's got no other tagline than that. And then for a lot of people that play the online stuff, you don't need a tagline. Just, oh, more Call of Duty, sign them up. So this game is going to be set in 2035. So it's more than 40 years after the last Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. and features a story campaign that can be played solo or in a squad with friends, which I believe is new because most of the time the story campaign it was just you, and then maybe you had a couple of people that were controlled by the computer, but now you can go with a buddy and go on rails through the story. So that might be attractive to some folks.
I thought
You know, it's like 2015's Call of Duty Black Ops 3 did it, but I don't know how successful it was.
Oh.
So also, this game seemingly stars Milo Ventimiglia from This Is Us and Heroes as the main protagonist because he was in the trailer. So what part he plays in this game, whether he's a hero in the first act and gets dusted by somebody, or you're playing as him or whatever as the main character, remains to be seen. So you get more information on this game this summer, and it will be released later on everything, the PS4 and 5, all of the Xboxes and PC, but no announcement on the Switch 2. So if it goes like all of the other Nintendo games, Black Ops 7 will come out to Switch 3 years down the line when everybody already playing Black Ops 10. So Smitty, picking up Call of Duty?
I don't know, man. Like I bought one of them, and this looks very similar to this one. Where I was in an airplane that was in space and had a rocket pack. I did not like that shit. I don't know what happened to Call of Duty, but Call of Duty's gotten out of control. Like I just wanted to go to war, and use some
I played that one
stuff.
I played that one.
Hold on, Smitty, what were you saying? You just wanted what?
I just wanted
to go to war.
Yeah, just the older games, with the just regular war. I don't know why they have to introduce all this bullshit. All this other, they got robots with all this crap, and then they had you walking on ceilings because you had like boots that could do that. And I was like, nah, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. I don't have time for all that shit. I just want to shoot people and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? That's fun enough. You don't have to add all that other stuff. You ain't got to add all that other stuff. Nobody need all that.
Yeah, it's like I played that Call of Duty. It was all right. It was definitely jarring from all of the other stuff. It wasn't World War II. It wasn't the Modern Warfare stuff. So it was definitely like, oh, all right. Well, I'm in space. I got starfighters. Like it's fine. It was like ultimately, it ended up being okay. But I ain't been back to it since I finished it. Call this day.
Okay.
And the final piece of video game bullshit we have for you this evening is the announcement of Resident Evil 9. This was announced at Summer Game Fest with all of the other nonsense they announced. It's called Resident Evil Requiem, and it'll be the follow-up to Resident Evil 8, which was also called Resident Evil Village. There's a new protagonist, FBI Grace Ashcroft, and she's going to be dispatched to investigate a series of murders at the hotel where her mother died 8 years ago. So this is set after the destruction of Raccoon City in Resident Evil 3. You'll be able to switch between first and third person, which is new because these games were either first person. Well, the more recent games were first person. The older games were third. And she will be chased by a monster similar to the vampire chick in Resident Evil 8 that was like 8 feet tall, and Mr. X from Resident Evil 3 that was just like a monster Terminator on steroids. It's kind of occasionally just popped up. This game is scheduled for February 2026. Smitty, are you getting the survival horror game Resident Evil?
Negative. Your boy Smitty, we don't play horror games over here. Okay, we don't do that.
Whatever.
We don't do none of that.
Why don't you tell everybody why? Why don't you tell everybody why?
Because I'm scared. I don't give a shit.
I don't understand this.
I'm not playing that scary bullshit at night. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't care what you think. Okay, I'm grown. I don't give a damn. I do not care.
Time out. Explain it to me. You are literally with the controls in your hands, controlling the individuals on the screen that
I'm just kidding. I don't like games where I have to run around and look for bullets. I don't like shit like that. To me that's silly. Okay? It's silly for me, right? And they know that this house has a history of monsters and all of that shit. Yet we keep going back there alone with no help, no backup, no bullets. And we just a single handgun with 6 bullets in it. We got to go We got to go back to this house again. It's just
But
I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. Resident Evil has never
it's
been.
like you'll find
my
you'll be
bag.
able to wander around the house and find a rocket launcher in the kitchen, and you'll be able to pick that up.
I'm not trying to be
Jesus.
that guy to walk around a desolate house with no sound. When I'm at the crib by myself, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't give a damn what none of y'all think. And some of y'all telling yourselves lies right now. Some of y'all out there right now won't play no video games at night. Okay, so stop lying. Some of y'all don't watch horror movies for that exact reason. Okay, so don't look down on old Smitty. Okay?
We're gonna move right on into Duster. This isn't a horror flick, so I'm sure you did well watching it this week, right? You did watch it this week, right?
I can feel the respect just falling away from me. I don't even care.
I'll get you Resident Evil 8 for Christmas.
Negative.
Whatever. All right, Duster, guys. This episode this week had more progress, had more movement in the plot line. So Smitty, did you watch it? I feel like you barely watched it. You did watch it?
I watched.
What did you?
I watched some of it.
20 minutes.
I watched
half hour.
I watched enough of it.
Speechless. Absolutely.
You know?
Okay. Where did you stop watching it?
Hold up. Probably like
10 minutes in.
Yeah. Well,
after the credits. You just liked watching the
do you
cars go
remember-
around and he turned it on.
The opening.
Do you remember
the
when
opening.
when you remember when he was
music
being chased? That part where he was being chased.
Which?
Oh, on the bridge. In the car, in the bridge.
Yeah, on
Mhm.
the
Oh,
bridge.
with the fireworks.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's where
where I
you
stopped.
stopped.
Yep.
He saw that in the previews from the previous episode. He's just making it
probably
up. That's what he
did.
saw.
He probably
He
did.
ain't watched that joint.
He's so full of it.
He ain't watched that. He probably just said a bunch of words. It was like when they was on the bridge and he was driving. And he was like, he's driving in the bridge. Yeah, that's what I thought. He was like the fireworks. He was like, yeah, that's it. With the fireworks. It was like, he ain't watching. He just
I
said
ain't
a bunch
seen
of
a lick of
words.
that.
Put a word
I
salad
ain't
together.
seen a lick of it. I just took a shot in the dark and just
I
said,
can't-
"Remember that chase scene?" And y'all was like, "Yup." No.
It's like, yeah, when he was chased, he was being chased on the bridge. I was like,
Yep.
yeah, it
You
just fell
filled in the
apart.
blanks. You filled in the
Smitty.
blanks. I was like, "Yep, that scene
Smitty.
right there. That's
Smitty.
it on the
Oh,
bridge.
yeah, watch it.
On the bridge. Yep."
Smitty.
So what happened in Duster this time? I'm sure it was riveting. As did they find the bad guy? No. They find any
No,
more
because
clues?
that's the long form plot. Richard Nixon was in this episode. It opened with Nixon. So the president's wrapped up in all this nonsense some kind of way. So
Yeah.
you had that. So you got Richard Nixon in on this. It was like Tricky Dick showed his face. I was like, oh, Nixon's here. It was like, now we're gonna get somewhere.
Sorry, Saggy.
Saggy,
You know.
he watched none of the homework this week, so
I saw some of the homework. I saw
none
most
of the homework. He watched 0 of the homework this week.
I
So
watched a lot of homework.
he just none of it.
I saw that chase scene on the bridge.
Whatever. You are terrible. You are terrible.
So
So
what happened?
basics, Casanova, go ahead and do the rundown right quick.
So opens up Richard Nixon. He ends up finding out whatever it is that Nina's digging into, the FBI agent. Nixon ain't happy about, and he sends dude the cowboy hat. So he was like, yo, you need to go put the button on this to wrap this up. So then after that, you get the chase scene from the opening credits that Smitty saw. That was like 2 weeks ago when he watched it. And then the cut between Jim and Nina getting dressed down by their bosses. Jim is getting yelled at by Saxton because he lost Howard Hughes' car and then fires him and says, "That's it, you fired, get out of my office."
Yeah.
So then he's done, and then Nina's getting yelled at her boss. It was like, you messing up protocol, and friggin', the great FBI agent that we all revered is now dead. So what are you doing?
Right.
So crazy.
Jim and Nina end up having a discussion.
No words.
And Jim and Nina end up having a discussion, and he's like, "I'm out.
You might as well take yourself out the chat
because I got fired." So, because she was able to get the Russian interpreter that Saxton uses arrested, and she wants to pretend to be the new Russian interpreter because she can speak Russian apparently.
Right.
So Jim can't get her in. He reaches out to his dad for some help.
Mhm.
And then his dad is like, nah, Saxon's a friend. I'm not going to do it. So then Nina's like eventually goes to see Jim's dad, talk to
Oh,
stepmom.
excuse me, time out for a second,
Go from
Casanova.
there.
Pause 1
Mhm.
second. Smitty, did I just see you do that?
Listen, I don't know. I don't know why I keep. I don't know why you watching me every second. There's three. There's two people. Two other people up here. You know, watch them. Watch them. There's one other person besides you.
Right. Okay.
So
Go
See, he
ahead,
sees two
Casanova.
other people, just like he saw at Tracy's.
Go ahead, Casanova. Go ahead.
So
Anywho.
after the conversation with that, the B plot is that Jim has to help Saxon's daughter. Basically, she wants to rescue her girlfriend from an arranged marriage because she know that her girlfriend loves her and don't want to get married. So Jim helps her do that while Nina preps and to pretend to be the translator to get in. And then the episode basically ends with Saxton introducing Jim to Nina as, oh, this is my new translator. So they quote unquote meet in front of Saxton. So now they're both back inside because with Jim helping break up the wedding, like the girl was going to end up marrying a criminal rival to Saxton. So it's like he was cool with the wedding, and that got him back inside.
Right, because it would have made the family more prominent as far as like whatever criminal activity. I feel like also because of the because when Nina went to the dad's house to ask for assistance, you saw the wife who hates Jim was helping her. I don't know, get her lie game together.
He was giving her acting lessons essentially. It's like, hey, you want to go undercover? It was like you playing a role. So it's like you got to play a role. When I got nervous, I crossed my fingers, focused on that, settled down, and I didn't give anything away because the thing was that Wade, Jim's dad, Wade, Jim's dad said that basically it's like, oh, if Saxton sees you and has any suspicion that you not what you say, they'll kill you on the spot.
Right, but I'm wondering if also that dynamic, that particular relationship will help.
Smitty, where'd you go?
Will end up getting whatever. If it'll end up getting Nina and Jim in more of like a romantic relationship, because I feel like it'll also help his relationship with his father and his father's wife. No? Am I
probably? I mean, not the wife. Like I don't think the wife. And then ultimately, when he finds out, if he finds out that Saxon was involved with killing his brother, then that's not, all that's going to do is like, all right, well, we just got to kill Saxon. Come on, son, let's go get our revenge together as father and son. Well, it was like that's all that's going to do. But they already close. The wedge between them is his wife, or stepmom.
Yeah. Now they said at the beginning. Well, so two things. When he said that he was going to promise to do, or that he wanted to go get the fireworks for the little girl or whatever, you already knew, right? That he was.
It was like it's TV trope 101. It's like, oh, I want to spend time with my daughter / but she thinks she's my niece, but she's really my daughter. I'm gonna hang out, and then it's like I'm gonna get some fireworks. You already knew as soon as he said that. It's like he is not gonna have no fireworks with this girl. It's like she's gonna be with stepdad over there and her mom and fireworks. He's gonna be looking from the street. Sure enough, he was looking from the street in the car, watching them shoot off fireworks together. It's like you knew that was gonna happen. I was like, I would just rather them stop that trope and don't promise nothing.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what? Like, are we gonna go? Are you gonna come home and do fireworks, Dad? And like, we'll see. We'll see. Like maybe if it's good. Just stop it. Just stop promising it because they don't never do it, and I don't never feel bad. It was just always like you knew you wasn't going to. It was like it's all right.
Well, my thing was, now this is the only time I actually paid attention to it was with Smitty, where he was always talking about Jim's hair blowing in the wind, and his hair in that scene when he was in the car sitting across the street watching the fireworks or whatever. I felt like, I don't know if this is a reference that you get, but I felt like they had Beyonce's wind machine going because his hair was flowing for no reason.
The wind machine. Yeah. The wind machine that Beyonce used, that R. Kelly used to use all the time. Yeah, it was like probably did. It was like probably did. It was like makes sense. And then I forgot the C plot is the mother of his kid is a trucker, and she's currently fighting
Right.
for
Women's rights.
trucker
Mhm.
women's rights in the union for lady truckers.
Hold on,
So
Smitty,
that's the
why are
other
you
thing,
shaking
and
your
like,
head?
I don't think that's going to work out for her. It's like I don't think that's going to work out for her in the long run either.
Smitty, why are you shaking your head? No.
Because all of this sounds dumb. That's why.
Yeah, but
is
they're
this
bringing it.
still good? Like, are you enjoying this?
They're bringing it
Yeah.
along further as far as like the conspiracy aspect, because they are
liar.
tying it. I mean, they're tying it to Washington. So because they very specifically, like we discussed before in one of the first episodes, they showed the Capitol, and then this episode they talked about the Oval Office. So they're tying everything that has happened. They're tying it back to a cover-up conspiracy that was spearheaded through.
Wait a minute. So the death of his brother ties back to the president of the United States?
Quite
Potentially.
possibly.
Yeah. See, but had you watched more than the first episode?
He watched the first episode in the chase scene from this week. So he thought that was enough. He thought that was enough to keep him caught up.
Well, so wait a minute, Smitty, what is your problem?
I don't know. It's just, I mean, honestly, that's just boring as hell. It's boring as shit, right? I'm tired of the whiny Native American cop. I don't care. I'm tired of the
He's
racism.
not whiny anymore, and
aiming
they
at
don't do the
Nina.
racism
They be aiming at
anymore.
Nina. I'm tired of the duster man who they got in the car, and they trying to make it look like he's in his early or his late
30s.
20s when he's
His
actually in his early
mid-30s.
60s. It's not a good show, right? It's so slow, and you're going in headstrong. It's like a video game, but you're doing all these goddamn side quests because you're trying to get back to the original thing. The main story was about the mob boss that he's working for has possibly killed his brother, and they the black FBI agent who's trying to make a name for herself and get some
Nina.
respect. Yeah, she turns him and makes him an informant, right? I'm looking forward to that story. And then we start doing other shit. We start doing so much other shit. There's like a hitman, there's a cartel guy that he hooks up with, and he has to fight with that guy, and they're fighting over blue, and then they got blue suede shoes, and they're dealing with all that shit. It's just a
the blue
hodgepodge
suede
of
shoes
nonsense.
made a comeback this week too, so you missed it.
Yeah, see, you would have seen the Blue Jay shoes came back, and it's just like, all right, but Smitty, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Me and Chris will talk about it, and we'll just have you react to it. And then from what we say, I don't want you to watch it now at all. It was like, just react to us because it's probably, I don't know what this is, 8 or 10 episodes or something like that.
It's
so
not
it's
very
only
long.
like a few more weeks, and then you just react to it, and then just go from there.
Just tell me what happens in the end. Like I don't care about none of in between. If they fast forward to the last episode,
Okay,
now, I would watch that.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because you're talking about side quests or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you don't like. So did you watch Mandalorian when that was out?
Yeah.
Did you like Mandalorian?
The first season. The second season was trash.
Why was the second season trash?
Because they weren't talking about
it. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Right.
It was all over the place.
Right. They had a lot of side quests. It was the same exact.
I don't even know if I would say there was side quests in the
it
second
was side
season.
quests. It was side quests.
It was like I don't even know that because some of the episodes he wasn't even in. So it wasn't even side quests. It was like, oh, here's another playable character.
Right, but every time you would go do something else, it was like, but you have to go here and help this person first before you can do like.
Yeah,
so
no,
it was.
I checked out. And I love Star Wars, but I checked out of that shit. I checked out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's like it was like I didn't hate season 2, but I definitely didn't like it as much as season 1 because it just I felt that there was just the focus wasn't there.
Okay, all right.
And Boba Fett was worse than that, but I digress. Continue.
No, we're gonna Saggy. I made a boo boo. He watched one of the homework assignments this week, which we're going to talk about now. The Amateur. So since you did watch that one, Smitty, do you want to?
Yeah, sure. So, this movie, in case you don't know what it's about, it CIA agent who's very intelligent. His wife goes to London, and she ends up in the middle of some sort of attack, and just so happens she's the only victim in a shootout, and she was the only one to take a bullet because she was trying to protect someone else. So commendable, but her lights are out now. So
Damn.
yeah, well, I mean they are. So they end up telling the CIA agent, and then they have to. He can't take the fact that no one is looking for his wife's killer. So then he requests to be trained so that he himself can track down who killed his wife and take them out. That is the plot to this movie. It is entertaining.
Yeah, that's it.
But
that's it.
Not really believable in any sort of way whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, what'd you think of it?
I didn't like it.
Why?
It was. I feel like we've had like a lot of movies that have come out previously that have shown the low man on the totem pole, whatever, and him being able to go against all odds and do this unbelievable stuff and whatever, save the day, whatever. I don't know. So I didn't have so much of a problem with that. I had a problem with how thin the storyline was. And by that, I mean, when they showed her leaving and her death or whatever, I fully anticipated this one to actually have a cover up, that they sent her out to have her murked purposefully for some whole other reason, that the organization, whatever. They had none of that. Like it was just a straight shot. And you had like the one guy that was dirty in a sense or whatever, because while he was doing while the husband was doing his own investigation and trying to determine who killed his wife, they knew and they didn't tell him, and like you said, they weren't going after the culprits, things of that nature. So all right, fine. But I just thought it would have had a little bit more meat on the bones, and I had nothing. Like you had not Samuel Jackson, you had Lawrence Fishburne in the movie, and I mean his presence, I don't think they used him very well. So whatever, it was just something to watch.
What'd you think? Casno.
You know that scene where they was chasing him?
For a second.
Shut up,
you know that scene where they was chasing him down the street and he was running and then he had to hide?
He didn't watch it, Smitty. He didn't watch it.
I was like, I thought that was great.
Anyway, so here it like I said, it was entertaining, right? Because he was a smart CIA agent, and that part was, watching him figure things out was very entertaining, right? But when he started tracking down professional killers,
right,
and he is like he's spying on them, he walking around being sneaky, right? He ain't never had to be sneaky before, and he's doing all of this stuff, like he's sneaking up on people who do this for a living.
right.
And I was like, nah. So the first kill he had was the guy in the pool between the buildings, I guess, and it felt slightly similar to the assassin from the video games, the ballhead dude, 57 or 47 or yeah. So it felt a lot like that, because it was very, very difficult to be like, he just started yesterday, He just started yesterday, and he's building kablooies, and he's chasing people down. He's breaking into people's homes and stealing their weapons. He's doing a lot of stuff, So that was okay. Now, I knew the part that when he was sitting with Lawrence Fishburne, and Lawrence Fishburne said, you're not a killer. You
Right.
can't do this."
Mm-hmm.
And then he gave him the pistol and told him to do it.
To shoot him, right?
And he was like, "Shoot me." He was like,
Mm-hmm.
You're not that guy. Shoot me." I mean, if I am, you're not gonna know, right? Because your day is over. Your day has ended, sir. I'm trying to save you. Like, you're upset with me because I don't want to shoot you in the face. Am I getting that? Point to something else. Like, go get a dog or a chicken or something. Go get one of them.
No.
Oh, but a person's okay.
Well,
He's a
he
killer.
would be.
You think?
But that's what he would be out in the field. He wouldn't be aiming at an innocent dog or chicken. He'd be aiming at a person.
So he works for the CIA. His job is to take
Listen,
people out, but you got a problem with him killing a dog or a chicken? Is that what I'm
they're
getting?
innocent.
Is that what I'm getting out of you?
They're innocent.
What'd you have for dinner?
Well, maybe he would eat the chicken after he killed it.
Anyway,
You know, feather, put it in the fridge.
I think it was the final kill. That none of that scene made any sense to me. The bad guys had him like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They had him like 3 times, and nobody would just pull the trigger like to end his life. Nobody would do it. And I'm like, why? Like, Lawrence Fishburne had him in a club. I don't know if he just started to respect him or what.
Yeah,
but
he did. Yeah, he did. Because he gotten further at that point than Lawrence Fishburne had anticipated him even being to even get off the block. He didn't even expect him to be able to do that. And here he is all this time later. He had done so much. He was surprised.
Okay, what about the female assassin who he pumped pollen into her workout area? Pollen? Where you find that at? Where you find a bucket of pollen at that you can just dump into something? Like, he had a lot too. He was like, he was like, breathe that in, bitch. Huh? How's that feel? You gonna sneeze tonight? I don't get it. And then she pretended like she was choking, and he opened it up because he couldn't kill her. He's stupid. Right. I don't know, man. And then she didn't take him out. She was an assassin, and she didn't take him out.
Right.
He just learned how to fight yesterday, and he won the fight. He won.
Well, she was weakened.
She was weak by pollen.
She's allergic. Yeah.
Allergies be rough, I guess.
I'm telling you.
Like, allergies be rough.
Yeah.
Eyes watering, sneezing.
I'm saying you can't
close up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like she an assassin. She's like, hold on, compromise.
I'll explain the final scene, and you tell me if this makes any sense to you. Okay.
Okay.
He's down to the last guy that he needs to get, the guy who actually pulled the trigger on his wife. Turns out he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's a really nice guy.
He just happened to kill his wife.
Yeah. So he works out a plan. Oh, he used her to get out of whatever situation he was in. And he's trying to explain it like that too. He was just she was just a means to an end.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, it wasn't a huge deal to him. Right? And I'd have probably been like, hey, you know what? That's fine. You know what?
No, you wouldn't.
Don't worry about it.
A mess.
Like they watching now because then she knows what she's getting at. He's like, you know what? It's like, I ain't gonna offend you, but like, honey, he was just a means to an end. It's all right.
So they bring him to this boat, and they put him in front of the head guy, the last guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the last guy runs down the list of things that he had done. He was like, oh, you blew up the pool and the guy fell out. First of all, that's a horrific death. That was
awesome. That was awesome.
Unbelievable. He hit the ground, and then he got hit by all that glass and then water.
Yep. That was awesome.
So they bring him to the boat. The bad guy looks, he was like, oh, you did all these things this way because you're not able to do it up close. Like, you can't do it up close.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, I'll prove it to you. And he gives him a pistol. He gave him a pistol and was like, I bet you can't do it. I'm like, get out of here,
right back
man.
at this situation
get
again.
Out of here, bro. Like, what if he does it? You've known him for 2 seconds, and you gave him a pistol and dared him to shoot you?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes?
Because I think what they were trying to get at was that some people are good at reading others. They just are. You know who, like you have the people who are the mark and people who are, the con artists or whatever. And the con artists are almost always 99% of the time able to tell a good mark because it's almost like they can smell it on you. So maybe I'm just saying that's my analogy to it. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
I mean, would you have done it?
Would I have given him the pistol? Hell no.
No. Would you have shot him?
Hell yeah.
What about you, Casno? Would you? If he'd have gave it to you, was
In
like,
this
listen,
context, so I have a
keep in
wife that
mind,
was killed.
keep in
Go
mind, he's
ahead.
got henchmen behind him who's got weapons on you.
Yeah, but you already figure
Mm.
that you may die, right? You took up this entire, we'll call it a project or whatever, knowing that you may not get out on the other side alive. So if you're gonna get to this point and he gave you the gun, goddamn right.
You would do it?
Well,
Yep.
I probably would
Listen, I
see.
promise you.
I probably would ask the henchman. It was like, did y'all get paid this week or y'all get paid next week? Because it's like, because my whole thing is like, when a lot of times with the henchman stuff, it was like, all right, he paid y'all to keep him alive. If I draw down on him and this gun is loaded, then yeah, y'all shoot me. But if I shoot him, it was like, killing me don't mean nothing. It's like, you got paid already. So you just got to find more henchman work on hench.com or wherever the fuck it is you got to go. So
I'll be
what
like, I'll
difference
pay
does it
y'all.
make?
I'll pay
It
y'all.
was
See you
like,
guys
hey,
next
I
week.
got some cash coming to me. It was like, if y'all just want paid, did y'all get paid already? Because if y'all got paid already, then I might shoot this cat. If y'all didn't get paid already, then I'm not.
The way my bank account's set up, I got to
You
check in a
stupid.
savings.
You better stop. You
It's
better
like, now my
stop.
check will clear in a
So
couple days. So like, if y'all can wait that long.
So
so
would you?
he's able
So
to
go ahead.
he's able
Stephen.
to, as he's holding the pistol in his hand and he's aiming at the bad guy,
Mhm.
no one realizes that the boat has veered off course and into French waters.
I don't know. I was cleaning at this point because I was so disinterested.
So he was able to purposely sneak onto this boat and then somehow redirect the boat into French waters with no one knowing. No
Mhm.
one knew. No one felt the boat just slightly turn around, go
Well,
left, and nobody knew none of that. Right? Nobody
pause
knew
a
none of that.
second. Let me ask you a question. You've owned a boat before, and if you're not paying that close attention, if you slowly drift, right, are you able to as easily tell? If you
No,
slowly
but
drift.
they weren't slowly drifting.
Again, I was cleaning, so I wasn't paying attention.
But
But go
I
ahead.
mean, it's fine. How did he get control of the boat?
What?
How did he get control of the boat?
I don't know.
They had a
Exactly. It's just
remote
some
boat.
bullshit. It's just some bullshit they threw up there all at the same time. Oh, while you weren't looking, I got a squadron of jets over us ready to drop bombs on your son's daycare. It doesn't make sense. It's just random stuff out of nowhere that has no.
Mm.
They can't explain anything. Like, oh, while you weren't looking, I took control of your boat. Now we're in French waters, and I don't have to kill you because you're going to get arrested. What? What? Come on, man.
You sound like you
You
really take
arrested
issue with
you
this.
arrested the bad guy. I don't know
Yes.
what be going. Every it seemed like every movie I watch now is a draw.
Oh
Everyone. It don't matter
no.
if it's Marvel. It don't matter if it's Marvel. Every single one end in a draw. Nobody dies. They go to jail or they scream curses and then they gonna catch you again in the
You
next
stupid.
episode. I don't like these new movies. Right. I've never seen so many people go to prison in these movies before, right? You need a happy ending. These people
I
murk
guess. I
your
guess you
other
don't.
half.
I guess you're not going to see Superman then, because you already know Lex probably going to jail, or he gonna
Yeah,
go
that's
free.
right.
Superman
He
ain't
always
punching him
only
out.
went to
Like,
jail. That's
Superman not
right.
gonna punch him out.
That's right.
Superman been dropping Lex Luthor off in jail for years. That ain't gonna change.
That's right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm again, it's entertaining, but
Yeah.
very,
Was it
very,
though?
very far fetched and kind of ridiculous, kind of
So
borderline ridiculous.
you don't think if a situation where you maybe were Mr. Normal Guy, everyday normal person, and something happened to your wife or whatever, you don't think you'd be able to try and hunt down to get your vengeance on those that did whatever they did? If you had a skill set similar to his where you were like really good with computers, or I don't know what the hell his
I
skill
don't
set
think
was.
I don't think I would say 2 words. I would just start training. I would just start training, and then yeah, I would just start training and then just go do what needed to be done. I'm not talking to anybody, or there's no talking me out of anything. Like, you did it, so now you got to go. I'm coming to get you.
Okay. So why is it so ridiculous to believe that this regular
Because he
dude
was
on the
back and forth with that shit. He was like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do it. I can't. Oh, I can't shoot. But I loved her though. I loved her so much. It's just, bro.
Gee.
Grab your stuff. Grab your stuff and go do what you came to do. If not, there's no shame in your game. Pack your bags and go home. Like, if you can't do it, that's fine. Go home and start a new life, right? But if you're doing it, do it, right? Stop jumping on both sides of this fence. Pick a side. Go home or finish the job. One or the other.
Man. I mean,
What?
he's allowed to have a second thought about it.
No, you're not.
If
No.
you
As a matter of fact, that was something that they told us in the military. I mean, that was one of the things before we
right, but
before we
let's say you
deployed.
didn't have military experience. That was my question. If you're
You got to put it
regular,
away. You got to put it away, because you can't do what you need to do. You can't do what you need to do thinking about shit like that. It's like going to a fight worried about you going to get punched in the face. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. You got to go into that thing with a mindset that you got to do what you got to do. That's it. This is nothing. This is just all it is, right? He's just a target. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going home. The end. And if you can't do that, if you cannot separate your humanity from what it is you have to do, then don't do it.
I get it, but maybe his thing that he kept waffling about was that he didn't want to hurt anyone other than the one that was ultimately responsible for the wife of his, because
Send him to jail.
Right, but my point is, let's think about it. I'm coming, you've killed my wife, right? And my wife wasn't innocent. So now I'm going to kill other innocent people whose families are going to be going through the same exact thing that I'm going through. So the theory is, why he's waffling, is that he doesn't want to hurt other families that way. He just wants to get at the ultimate individual who was responsible for it. Granted, he didn't take him out like he should have, but that's just I guess why they wrote the character that way.
I hear what you're saying, and you. I mean, it sounds
logical.
Good. And this is probably going to sound
like you're an ass. Go ahead, I got it. Go ahead.
Heartless or whatever. But if you go through something like that, like you don't care about what happens to other people. Like, there's that part of you is gone, right? All you see is, they took this from me. My life is different forever. You have to leave. You have to leave. And if you hide behind somebody, I promise you, they're coming with you. You can hold hands, because both of you going to meet Jesus together, right? Nothing is stopping this from happening. You remember what Rick said in The Walking Dead? Nothing is going to stop this. Nothing.
Okay. Man, I gotta be holding hands and everything, but all right. All right. We're going to move on to the next homework assignment that Smitty didn't watch. No, you didn't watch it.
Yeah,
did not.
I did, man. I saw most of it.
Watch a lick of it. Stop the storytelling. Stop the storytelling. My word.
Saw most of it. I saw the 5 minutes when the opening credits was coming out.
Pretty much.
I saw was good.
He saw the trailer when we discussed it earlier this week.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, the trailer is like, it's like, I saw it. It's like, remember he was talking to that guy? They had a disagreement. It's like, I saw that.
All right, so we're gonna move on into Upgrade, which is currently out on Netflix, which
Upgrade.
means that Smitty could have very easily have seen this, you guys, but chose not to. So Janelle and I, Casanova and I, sorry, are gonna go ahead and discuss it. So Casanova, go ahead.
What? I always gotta go. You can't talk about
I can talk about it. We can talk about it.
it. You can go, ladies, please. Please discuss. I could jump
Smitty,
in.
you want?
Oh my God! Somebody go.
Smitty, you want to talk about it?
Yes, this movie was about
Whatever. No, the the movie starts with a and forgive me, I forget their names, but it's a gentleman and his wife. They visit someone who is like a real techie person. The husband's like really he's a mechanic. He works on like muscle cars and everything. That's his thing. So they go and they go to the home. They were invited to the home of this techie guy. When they're leaving the home, they get into this taxi that's self-driving. And they're in the car, and the car is telling them to put their seatbelts on, but they decided that they would try and be in the back seat and be like little teenagers and do the nasty. Meanwhile, the car gets into an accident. The wife dies. The husband, however, becomes paraplegic. And at this point, he is requesting that the police, do their job, obviously, because I'm sorry, I skipped. They became she died and he became paraplegic because a gang came upon them, drug him out of the car. They shot her in the chest, which is what killed her, and they shot him in the neck, which is what turned him paraplegic. And it was like, when I say a group of people, I mean Casanova, what was it, like at least 10 people in this group, because they had drones above the scene.
They had drones above, but it was like maybe 5 guys.
Okay.
Like, it was like maybe 5 guys.
Okay. So
in front of a bunch of witnesses. So there was a lot of people there, and those people that was witnesses was just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And did nothing.
Right, so, right. Well, I mean, so anyway, so he comes out of the hospital, and basically he is told to he goes back to the techie guy because the techie guy has an offer for him, where he says, listen, I can make you walk again. But you have to put this piece of technology in your neck to be able to do so. Anyway, long story short, he agrees to do it. They thought initially it might take some time for him to be able to regain his mobility, but I guess almost instantly he was able to move his arms. He was able to walk. He started running, things of that nature. Now he had to sign an NDA and not tell anyone about this technology. However, he could walk at home by himself when no one was looking, but out in public, he had to act like he was
paraplegic, because if anybody found out that he was no longer paraplegic with his chip on, he violated the NDA. So it was like he was definitely rolling around in a wheelchair a couple times, just like, it was like, all right.
Right.
Like, I'm out here, but he could walk.
Right. So now he's, like I said, he's asking the police to do their job, find out who did it. Anyway, him and this technology, I forget the name of it, what he kept calling it throughout the
STEM.
movie. STEM, right, thank you. Him and STEM, which is the technology in his neck, they basically go out and they become like their own hitman team, basically. So they investigate. They find out who did stuff. And the first fight scene, I laughed my ass off because basically, like, the guy is trying to fight and he's losing the battle. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first bad guy they came across had like some kind of military background or whatever like that. So he was having difficulty beating him. Well, he allows STEM to take over. Now, at this point, anytime STEM takes over, he has to give authorization for STEM to do so. So he gives authorization, and now his body is moving. And the way that they do it in the movie is like he's unaware of like the body movements or things of that nature, and he's like hitting the guy and he's killing him and things of that nature. He's like, please stop, no, stop, or whatever like this. Anyway, he killed the guy. Police start to get hip to what's going on. But now the techie guy is like, I didn't expect you to do this. Like, you weren't supposed to do that. Of course, I would keep track of my technology. So he threatens to shut it down. So he shuts it down. But STEM had already had something in place to override it. Well, now when he overrides it, STEM no longer has to have the authorization from the guy to take over his body. So now STEM is taking over. STEM's doing what STEM wants to do. STEM's like, we can't die. I have to make sure that I live. So whatever happens, if STEM feels threatened, STEM is going to take out any and everybody. And basically that's kind of how the story ends. But you end up finding out that STEM from the beginning set all of this up. The computer chip set it up from the beginning because he wanted a prime body, like he wanted a good physical specimen to be housed in. Ain't that something?
The human that had no kind of upgrades or anything like that, and because the guy Gray was a technophobe and he wanted to do everything himself and didn't go in for all of the upgrades, he was perfect. So it's like STEM set, just like Chris said, STEM set everything up from killing his wife, getting him paralyzed, having to go through everything that he went through, then to go back to eventually kill Aaron, who was the tech guy that could remove or possibly create a better STEM to move him out of the way. So he killed him, and the guy that was being controlled basically ends up having a psychotic break because it's like he already killed the tech guy and he was going to kill this cop that was investigating it. Didn't want to kill a cop, so he put the gun to himself and thought that he offed himself. And really what happened is during his psychotic break, he's just in this, basically mind palace where he sees his wife. He wakes up in the hospital, he sees his wife and she's there and he's happy, but STEM has control of his body and walks off after killing the cop. And that's where the movie ends. So the movie itself was a tight, like 90 some minutes. It was like 90 minutes of it was under 2 hours, and it was a good action sci-fi picture. I feel it's like it's from 2018. If you haven't watched it, it was like it is quite good.
I agree.
Right. I can't even. And first of all, you and some of your comments, sir, you need to calm down. But no, it was a good. I enjoyed actually the movie. I feel like with a lot of the movies or shows that we've been watching lately, there's been something missing. And this didn't have to go on for 2+ hours to get the viewpoint of who's writing this crap across and make you understand what they're trying to get at. It was very succinct. It was very well done. I thought the acting was good. Like I said, there were some places where I was laughing because it was the acting got across so well, in a sense that he had no control of his own body and that something else was controlling his body without his knowledge. So
during some of the fight scenes or even some of his walk-ins, you remember how RoboCop would walk in the first movie where it was he would turn his body and turn his head. He was doing some of that, but that was because you were seeing that STEM was controlling him, and they got that across very well. They did some good camera tricks with some of the fight scenes. It's were pretty inventive, and then it's just overall they filmed the fight scenes well. The camera was back. It was none of that Born Identity shaky cam stuff. It was we're going to put you in the center of the fight to actually let you see the fight scene, which was good. So it was I think Upgrade was just real well done. It's too bad it went under the radar when it was released, but a lot of folks found it when it hit Blu-ray and DVD and stuff. So
the fight scene between him and the guy that had the upgrades, the nanobots or whatever in his body, and the guns or whatever.
Oh yeah, it was
that was an awesome fight scene.
Where he sneezed initially and killed the other guy in the bar because he sneezed and there was nanobots that went into the guy's nose and ended up killing him. So but that fight scene at the end with that guy, that was really good.
Smitty looks confused. What, pray tell, are you
What?
confused about, Smitty?
He sneezed
Sneezing
and
nanobot?
nanobite.
He sneezed, and then
Yeah, it's
the
like he sneezed. It's
nanobites
like he
had
sneezed
like
in the
razors or
direction.
whatever on them.
Right. So like so basically it's like you sneeze and like all of the particles that come out, there were like all of those particles essentially were the majority of them were like nanobots that he just basically shot into the guy's face. And the guy inhaled it because, you know, when somebody sneezes a few feet away from you and if you're breathing, you're probably inhaling some stuff and the nanobots went in there and killed him.
With razors from the inside out.
Okay.
Yeah. What, you don't like that concept?
I mean, it's sorry, it's cool, I guess.
It's just like somebody just gonna be wear a mask every time somebody sneezes now. You got nanobots? Go on, you getting your nanobots on me.
Get your robot razors away from me.
I mean, but I feel like you wouldn't be so confused had you.
Had I what? Had I what? Say it. Had I what?
Watched it.
You know what? Watch this.
What?
God damn it! I did it wrong.
You
I
did.
did it wrong.
Genius.
Trying to get somebody, they do it right.
All right.
So apparently, from the comment section,
Yes. What's going on? There's a lot of stuff with. We're not going to go into the allegations of Mr. Tyler Perry and what's going on with that. So, what
yes, we
would you
are.
like?
What? Why? We go to allegations every couple of weeks.
This is fresh.
allegations
but this
is new.
But this is fresh. We don't know exactly what's going on. All we
Good.
know is
We could
there's
just allegedly.
right? There's
Just use
allegedly
allegedly.
text messages that were sent to an actor on one of his movies. I think it was a movie. Maybe
One of his
one of his
movies or one of
shows.
his
I'm not
shows.
sure. Yeah.
It was
I'm
like
not sure
unwanted advances
Yeah.
to that actor from him. And
Mhm.
then saw
Yeah.
something that's like, I think, it's like, and, this stuff happens. And, if this was indeed the case of something that he did, then yes, it was like, but at the same time, that stuff needs to be proven. Now, I think that text messages in this day and age could be a very damning thing. And if, you set some text messages, but that's all you didn't touch anybody, it was like, then maybe $260 million or whatever you're suing for, maybe we can come down on that. But it's like, if you got a little handsy, then that is a problem and you need to pay for that.
I haven't read all the allegations, so I don't know if getting handsy was or wasn't a part of it. I have
Yeah, it was essay.
read some of the. I'm sorry, what?
Essay.
It was an essay. What'd you say?
S. Dot.
Oh,
Space.
yeah, I know.
A.
I know. Oh.
Dot.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, we got it now.
Yeah, got you. Well, you can't put it together like. Yeah, it sounded like.
That's why I just separated it for you. Most people just say essay.
All right. Well,
whatever. Not essay. S-A.
I thought we were doing some kind of writing assignment or something.
Oh my God.
But okay, so I tried to stay away from it because again, right now I don't. There, a lot of times with these types of stories, everything that initially comes out is not accurate. So I was going to wait a little bit to try and let some of that stuff fall out and then try and like determine what possibly the story actually more consists of, still allegedly, but potentially what it more consists of. So I do know, like I read a couple of supposed text messages that he sent to this one of the gentlemen, because if I'm not mistaken, it's allegedly more than one person that has come forward. So yeah, so I don't know. I could. All right.
What?
No, I'm.
What?
Well, this story came out right when it's that new movie on Netflix that just dropped with what's her name? The one that said the math ain't mathin'. Nobody. Nobody. All right.
I don't
You
know
be
what you're
asking
talking about.
trivia questions in the middle of your shit and
I
expect us
can't
to answer it.
think of it, but I'm just saying. I'm wondering of the timing or whatever. Right. That's all. That's all.
I don't
So
know. It's like anything else. It was like you'll see he's accusing him of this
Mhm.
and of possibly doing something, it's like quote unquote allegedly. So, sprinkle the allegedly around. So it was like for all of that. So
Right.
he's accusing them of this and as things progress, it was like the truth hopefully will out. Like if this
Mhm.
dude is just saying stuff, trying to get a money grab off
Right.
of something, and some people conspired for it, it's like hopefully they'll get busted for that. But again,
Mhm.
if he allegedly did do the stuff that him and other people are complaining about,
Mhm.
and the reason that they were silent is because, it's like he's got a lot of money and some power in Hollywood, and I'm just a lowly actor and I'm trying to, make my place. And if I come out across this guy, then, maybe I won't get work again, et cetera, so forth, so on. Then, it's like I can understand you being quiet, but whatever the straw that was that broke the camel's back, as it were,
Mhm.
I will be curious to like, all right, why come out now? It was like, what happened? What'd you
Right.
do? So
Hold on
it's like
one
anything
second.
else. We'll see.
Yeah. Saggy, thank you so much for your donation. It's greatly appreciated. And yes, Straw was the name of it that I was trying
of
to
what?
think of. Straw is the name of the movie.
I never heard of
Straw.
it. Can we talk about
Yeah, it's
straw
like I
and
wasn't.
trauma?
Put a O and put a O in that
He
spot.
pushes. You're gonna have to explain to me. I mean, I see the
So
words, but I don't understand the
okay,
context.
so I didn't watch the movie, but from what I understand, you have a young woman, a black young woman who's basically pushed her edge. If I'm not mistaken, she lost her job or something of that nature, and she was pushed into a situation where I think she had to rob a bank or chose to rob a bank, and the cops are trying to differentiate which one it is, whether or not it was her decision to do so or if she was pushed into it. And then they're also trying to take into account societal circumstances when they're working this out. Again, I didn't watch the movie, but if I'm not mistaken, Saggy, if you have seen it, please tell me if my very quick rundown is accurate or if I'm missing something else that is a big portion of it. But um that is basically my takeaway from it. Reviews that I saw on it. I actually seen it both ways. I saw that it was no good, not based on the primary actress role, and for whatever reason her name escapes me right now, but because of the supporting actors. But I have seen that it was also a really, really good movie. I choose not to watch it. Um,
I've never heard of straw. But
I think it
I
came out like
probably won't watch. I don't watch Tyler Perry movies. Like that's not my thing. Like I've never watched any Tyler
mm-hmm,
Perry movies. Have you? Like
mm-hmm.
I'm not.
That's
I'm
not
not
my
like I
that's not
watch.
my
I
zhuzh.
watched
Mm-mm.
like skits on YouTube of like
Mhm,
Medea or something from like back in the
mhm.
day. But I will not. I'm not sitting down to watch
Yeah.
like an entire Medea movie. That's just
I
crazy.
I
I'm
don't
not.
like I don't like the concept of Medea, so I don't give that trash my money. I don't like the concept of his shows that he has because at some point for whatever reason it all links back to somebody named, um I don't know, something that lives in the hood that's doing this. Not I just don't like the concept of
And
a lot of his stuff. So
that's
I
saying,
don't.
wow, like I haven't
Listen,
watched any of like his shows or anything else. Like I haven't dove into any of his movies, like none of that stuff. It was just never my get down. It was like,
yeah,
no shade to anybody. Again, no shade to anybody that likes it. It was just like his art just did not speak to me or make me
Yeah.
curious. The only
Mhm.
thing of Tyler Perry that I actually liked is he was all right in the small scene he had in one of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. I was cool with that, but that's as far as it
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. All right.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard too much from him in a long time.
He's got
Except for this
shows
new.
that are currently running.
I mean, I don't.
Okay.
Are they called Tyler Perry? Because I don't like. It's not like I don't watch. You
I
know what I'm
think
saying?
some of
Just
the
like,
stuff is like,
it's him. No.
I think it's like a lot of the stuff is like, Tyler Perry's and then whatever the
Whatever
title
the
of the show
name.
or the
Yeah.
movie is.
When I
Yeah,
when I
like I
when
think a
I
lot of the
hear
stuff is like that.
Yeah.
when I hear about stuff like what's in the news about him right now, I try to think about the motive. Like, what would your motive be? Like, if I was trying to squeeze money out of you, how would you do it? Would you immediately
If
go?
I'm the person saying that this was done to me,
Yeah.
what do you mean? How would I go about
Well, all right. Just
doing it the way that they're doing
put yourself
it?
in the shoes of whoever is doing this, right?
Supposedly the victim. Okay.
Correct.
The alleged
You
victim.
want to get paid. Yeah. You want to get paid. So, is your first step to absolutely just out him?
But do we know that this was his first step? And do we know that his only motive is to get paid? Right? So is it possible that he addressed this alleged incident with him quietly, and it was just not taken seriously? And then so now do you or
Right,
maybe
but
it
if you were
Mhm.
full of shit, this doesn't help you. Right? If you were just making it up at this
Mhm.
point, this does not help you. It would
Mm.
behoove you to use that cover of he's, I'm going to tell everybody if you don't if you don't give me some money, right? Cuz
Mhm.
now you're in court, right? Now you got to
Mhm.
prove stuff in order to get paid, right? And the fact
Okay.
that he would just
Mhm.
go and tell and be like, "Yeah, check this out. Like we're going to court. You did this." Now, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of impossibilities that that someone he would just do this thinking that it would benefit him, because we've seen crazy people do shit like that before. But it
But
doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense if you're
Okay.
trying to get paid.
but even
Unless
with
unless
him,
go ahead.
like even with him going ahead and say you accusing him of it and then seeing if there's some minor truth to it or
Mhm.
whatever else it is. Like it's just saying something that just can't be proven is totally not factual and won't go away. Him asking for that large amount, then the settlement comes and it's like, and we're not going to talk about this. So say the settlement comes and then he gets half or whatever else it is. He gets the money. The problem for me is that if this is true, then yeah, he should be punished. But then if there's even a hint of like, oh yeah, well I thought about this, it's like Tyler Perry's life is kind of changed pretty big because it's not. I don't think this is something. If recent history is any indication for these kind of accusations and stuff, I'm like, I don't think this is something that he walks away from and then just goes back making movie and TV shows.
Well,
So
but
I'm gonna
if
fix
you
my camera
also
real
have
quick.
but
I'll be
to
it's
right back.
like but as a money grab for me, it's like I'm suing you for $500 million because I have XYZ. It was like my whole thing is you come to me with a settlement, then I'm probably taking that settlement for like half or a third of that stuff.
Okay, and that's fine, but I also feel like unless, and we don't know, unless the situation was similar to like Kevin Spacey
Mm-hmm.
situation, where it was like an open secret, right? And everybody in Hollywood apparently allegedly knew. Do we even have to still say with him? I don't know.
It was like if it comes
Kn-
out and everybody knew, then
right. Well, that's what I'm
like it was
saying.
that quiet secret. Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. So unless this was, and we don't know if it is or isn't, again, if these accusations are true or not, but if this was supposedly like an open secret in Hollywood, then when does someone finally put their foot down, right? And then when you put your foot down, you're going to do it to the point where he opens his eyes and takes notice of what's going on, and you say enough, like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah. But I
no, I
guess
understand
it
what you're saying.
comes to like ultimately it's like if it's an open secret, like who's the foot? It was
Well,
like who's
apparently
the
this
one that
gentleman
says like
is,
yeah.
right.
So it's like he was the victim and he came through with this. It's like, but my problem, I guess, is like if it's an open secret, like with other people that were like higher up or had a lot of money and power and stuff, and folks knew, then it was like, so you knew about this, but then you ain't never say nothing.
Well, he's got
So
his own
it's like,
studio.
what do you do?
He's got his own
Right. It's
studio.
like you got your own studio,
He's got
but
his
for
own
me, open
studio.
secret.
But so let's take it a step further, right? If it's an open secret, and this is a man who has in Hollywood, he's made waves, he's employed a lot of people of color who were having problems getting gigs or whatever, having problems getting paid what they should be paid to do certain things. So who's going to, there are a lot of people that are going to have difficulty, open secret or not, coming forward and saying this is what is happening. And it's because he has built that, for lack of a better word, an empire, right? So,
But
Well, if you want to,
I guess for me, it's like, all right, open secret to me means not just people in his production house and all of that. That means more folks in Hollywood know this stuff, and you just never said anything, and
mhm.
you just let him go. Like me as an actor, I would think I'm working under your umbrella right now, but if I'm noticing that you doing some stuff kind of weird, or you coming at me in a way that I do not appreciate or like, then it's not like I can't audition for other stuff. It was like, I go off on audition for other stuff. I get a part in something else from, it's like Martin Campbell or something. And
Mhm.
then it's like, if you destroy that, then it's like, well, how come I didn't get this? Well, we heard from the previous production that you were on. It's like, oh, that's how you want to play? Fine. But it's like, to me, it's like, that insular world, if all you're doing is stuff by him, does he have you locked down that you have to do 18 movies with him or
Well,
18 shows and you can't go
I
nowhere
don't
else?
think,
people,
I don't think,
go ahead,
I don't
son. Go
think
ahead.
that, I don't think there should be money attached to any of this shit. I mean, that's the way you fix this, right? If you accuse someone, then it's for jail time. Point
Oh
blank.
yeah,
It's
right,
for jail time.
definitely.
That would stop people doing this for whatever. And I don't
Like
understand.
whatever civil cases or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't understand. And like, let me be careful here. Like,
Very.
I don't get why you know people can be they can go through this, right, and then just agree to have it all go away with a payoff.
Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm not going to I'm not trying to say it like any of you. I'm sure the two of you understand. If I go to the police or if I go to an attorney or whatever, and I say I want criminal charges filed because of whatever, and these might whatever I don't know what the accusations in full are, so they may not even rise to the level of criminality to start with, right? So
Mhm.
that's one. Secondly, you turn around and even if they do potentially, they might not even decide to open a case because there's like we would have a tough time proving this. Your best bet is to go civilly because they always tell you civilly you have a lower burden to get to the point of
Yeah.
them having to do. So that's potentially why, so that he sits up and somebody sits up and pays attention.
Crazy. I hear
It's
what
like,
you're
I
saying.
guess, like,
I'm about to
ultimately
sue.
for
I'm
me,
about to
I
sue
guess
somebody.
it's like I'm hoping that he's just not making something up
I'm
to
about to
get
sue
some
somebody
cash.
so we can get paid.
Shut
I'm
up.
about to sue somebody for anything
Shut up.
because apparently you can do that nowadays. Just sue anybody for any damn thing and get
Yes, you
ridiculous
can.
amounts of money. So watch out saying anything crazy to Paul because
You stupid. You stupid.
I
All
just
right.
might sue you for anything.
No, don't you guys. So
What'd you say?
nothing.
I'm gonna take you to court.
But I'm gonna wrap that entire last story that we did in the word allegedly and accusations because again, right now we don't know what's true or what's not. So just to tie that up with a neat bow. We're going to move on. Again, another piece of homework Smitty didn't do. To The Mortician. It's a docu-series that came out on HBO Max. And, my goodness. I've never in my life seen such craziness. So basically, I'm just going to try and do the story right quick. Back in the 80s, out in, I think it was LA, I know it was out in California or whatever, there was a mortician that they would take people's bodies, excuse me, who passed away. It was family owned. And it was prominent in the community. It then moved through, I think, like 2 generations or whatever. So we'll just say the grandson, I think, is who ended up ultimately taking it over and running it into the ground, because this man was greedy beyond all greed. So basically what was happening was, in this industry, if you have your own funeral home or what have you, but you don't have like where you can go and cremate remains, where you don't have a crematorium or whatever, you would basically farm it out to one that does. And apparently, like at this time, it was costing anywhere between I think it was like $150, $350, something like that. Well, this guy decided that he would do it for, I think he said like $55 per person. He said it was like $5 for the box that the body came in, and a couple dollars for the diesel gasoline that he needed to run the thing. So anyway, he was making a profit. A lot of his employees that he hired were street people. They admitted to being, in a gang, previously in a gang. They admitted to doing drugs on the documentary, things of that nature. So what they ended up doing to move the story along is they were burning up to 20 bodies at one time. And so when you were getting the remains of your loved one, you didn't know if you were getting a mixture, your loved one at all, anything of that nature. So there were people who were upset. And then ultimately there was a question as to whether or not he murdered someone with flower petals. I forget the name of the
Oleander.
oleander. Thank you. They ended up finding traces of oleander in this gentleman's system. And there's a question as to whether or not he killed a total of 3 people. And it was because he didn't want these individuals looking too hard into his business, because people were starting to do the math and figuring out that there was no way with one unit, I think it was, maybe they actually had 2, but even with 2 units to be able to cremate people, the volume of bodies that they were taking in to cremate, it was impossible for them to be able to do it. Well, ultimately, one of their individuals that they had fell asleep and the crematorium burned down. So they ended up moving it to another place where now they were burning 200 bodies at a time. But the thing that bothers me with this is he does not seem to grasp why people are upset. Like, he literally says he doesn't understand because that's not them anymore. This isn't the, and on top of it, he's organ harvesting. He's taking people's organs without the approval of the deceased or the family members, and he's taking those body parts organs, and he's selling it. Right? He's taking their
gold out of their teeth. I mean, taking gold out of their teeth, taking their jewelry, taking their shoes, selling their clothes. It was like he's doing all kinds of wild stuff. It was like the dude is kind of wild stuff, and like Chris said, it's like he was like, well, it's not your family member anymore. And then when people get buried at sea, we might have burned 4, 5, 10 bodies and then buried them all at sea. So they already mixed in with the ashes. So it was like, what's the problem? I don't see what the problem is here. And it was like, the problem is that somebody else opens up a mortuary and wants to, maybe burn their own bodies, and you kill poisoning their spaghetti, and they drop them. Like, too bad, or beating people up. Like this is some kind of mob job and stuff. So he's like, he don't have no friggin' remorse whatsoever. It doesn't look like he feels sad about it. It was like he got out of jail, and documentarians picked him up, and he's like, "Oh, you guys can ask me anything. I'm gonna open book for you guys." And it's just like some of his stories don't jibe with other people that work for him, because they said, I think at one point they said, "Oh yeah, we had, we beat this guy up for him and blah blah." He was like, "I think the guy got beat up, but I never told him to beat him up."
Right.
It was like, I never told anybody, it was like, I might have taken some gold out of the people's teeth, but that's because the family wanted it. They said they wanted it back. So that's what I did. It was like, and he was selling the gold. So there's a lot of stuff, but this is some wacky, wild stuff.
Right.
First of all, I should be surprised, but I'm not surprised.
Well, he sounded, go ahead, Smitty.
If I'm down bad, I'm taking your shit.
What?
Yeah, if I'm down bad, if I'm in a hole, and you just buried your loved one with a rollie,
I can't even believe you did. No. So no, I can't even believe you just said that. I cannot believe you just said that.
I'm telling you right now. Listen, I don't know.
No.
I'm telling you right now. I don't know. I don't know what all this sentimental stuff comes
You
from.
sound like him. I need you to stop.
You bought a watch. You bought a watch from a store, right? You bought a watch from a store. I'm hungry. I got nothing, right? I work in a mortuary. I need money, and you just buried.
First of all, First of all, this man was not hurting for money. He was paying his employees. I think one of them said that they was making $2,000 a week. They were not hurting for money. Okay, he was not hurting for money. All right. On top of that, I don't know. Casanova, you might be familiar with the Robert Durst case. I don't think Smitty is, but at the end of the documentary that he did on the Jinx, where they were asking him like what he did or whatever, and he still had his mic on and went into the bathroom. He's like, killed him.
Oh, he went to the bathroom, and it's like, yeah, it was like they asked me questions. It was like, oh, of course I killed her. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
It was like, yeah, it's like I'm just. Oh, I almost forgot to wash my hands. It was like, yeah, it was like, oh wait, is this mic still on? It was like,
right.
Yep.
Right. Well, he sounded similar to Robert Durst almost, to the point where he was trying to give up the beans without spilling the beans.
Implicating himself any more than he was already done. It's like anything that he was not prosecuted for is like, all right.
This guy
was like, I knew about it, but I didn't do it.
Right. And Smitty, I can't believe you, because
what you mean?
You bury the people with the stuff that is, if you walked around all day, every day with a particular item, whether it was a piece of wood that was sentimental to you or a Rolex, but it was your thing, wouldn't you want your family members to bury you with that?
I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me out. Okay. I want you to hear me out. When, not if, when I go to Wawa with that Rolex money, and I get me a bag of chips.
You better stop.
And some meatballs from Wawa. I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, I want you to sit over in the corner, and I want you to take the morals that you got and see how good they taste while I slam these meatballs.
I do not understand how 1 minute you are a man of the people, you're like in this person's corner and that person's corner. You want to defend everybody. But then
I will help you.
Smitty got levels.
I will help you until the end. If you need me, I will give you the shirt off my back. And that is my word. If you needed something, I'm giving it to you at the sacrifice of myself. You would have it. But you are dead.
But at the same time,
right? You are gone.
Taking that room.
Yeah. You are gone, and you have an expensive watch, and I'm hungry. So I'm coming to get that. You would do it too. I promise you would do it. You got all these you got all this high stuff. You got all this. You living up here, huh? You living up here. But I promise you, let that
it's called morals. Is what the stuff word you was looking for is called morals.
Your stomach don't give a damn about your morals. When it's time to eat,
yeah, you take the jewelry too.
I'm taking that.
I agree with you, Smitty. She taking jewelry too.
I will apologize, and I will leave an IOU where I took the ring from. I mean, where I took the watch from, and be like, my bad.
Leave an IOU in the casket in case you come back as a zombie. I owe you a watch and
I
some
am sorry.
rings.
Terrible.
You don't need to tell
No.
time where you going, huh? You don't need to tell time. You don't just ask the good Lord what time it is. He'll tell you. I'm sure he's pretty kind like that. And just that's all you gotta do. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't understand this. I don't understand this thing. Like if it's a family like heirloom, like it's some sort of
Oh, but how do you know?
blanket or something
How do you
like
know? You don't already took the Rolex that was a family heirloom.
I'm just
How you know?
After they appraise it, you find out, just dig them up, put it back
You
on,
gotta keep
and then put them back.
you got to keep everything in perspective. You're gone. You're gone, right? And I've just buried gold. I've just buried gold, and I'm finna get that because I need to eat. Right now, if they're not hungry, like if there's not a need for me to take it, I won't take it. Right, but if I'm hungry, oh, you can bet your ass I might not even wait for you to leave. I might take it right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? I might get it right in front of you. So I don't want to hear none of that. Now, you can keep them rules and them morals. When it comes to hunger or basic necessities, yeah, I'm getting that watch.
Uh,
Huh? Yep.
all right,
Sure am.
I'm on that note. I'm outdone.
Yep.
I can't even. I can't
Yep.
believe you. Your mother is
Listen,
gonna have
listen.
something to
Let me
say.
let me
I'm
tell you
calling.
something.
I'm calling
I've
mom right
watched.
after this.
I've watched. Water here is pretty easy to come by, right? I've watched two grown men. I've watched two grown men aim a weapon at each other over 5 gallons of water. Water, right? And they wasn't even thirsty, right? They wasn't even thirsty. They had just had drinks. They just had drinks, and they were fighting over water, prepared to shoot each other over water. You think if I'm starving, I ain't getting a gold watch? I'm getting a gold watch and that water, all of
I
it.
can't. I can't. I can't. I'm calling mom right
Just
after
all
this.
depends on your situation and what the situation calls for. If you need it,
Well,
if
he
you
was
need
not
it,
hurting. So that aside,
all right,
that
I'm
aside,
with you on that.
he was not even close to
I'm with
hurting.
you on that.
So
But
I
listen,
mean,
if again, if you needed me, if somebody on here needed something, right? You needed something and you contact me,
you still in
I
that
swear, I
you still in
promise
that
you, if
watch
I could get
room?
it to you, if I
Mm-hmm.
could get it to you, I'd get it to you, right?
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
you pass away near me, and I need it, I'm just saying.
Sorry about that.
Y'all better watch out. He just basically said he gonna do a quick pat down of all the stuff, all your pockets, everything. Make sure y'all good.
Well, like
So.
with burying somebody, well, in this case, you cremating them anyway. So you cremating them with the Rolex? Because that's just kind of weird. And
That's a
then,
waste.
but for burial, I mean, it's like with certain stuff, it was like, yeah, it was like I see your point, Chris, is like, you treat it like the pharaohs of old. It's like, oh, well, this was your favorite thing, and here you go. And it's like you really love this cat, put that cat in there. It was like, sorry, buddy. It was like you wanted to go, so good. It was like so, it's like with certain stuff, but at the same time, it's like if this is, it was like if I loved my dad and he was gone and this was his favorite Rolex, I'm probably going to keep that and not bury him with it just to have something I may never wear, but it was like I got it. And like if you bury your folks with jewelry and this was his favorite wallet, he always kept a crisp $500 bill in there, and you putting that in there, it's like you trusting other folks. Like you have the trust of those other folks to go ahead and bury it. But Smitty clearly said if he's hungry, then he rushing them pockets and doing the pat down.
I don't know. I know like it's very naive on my part, but I remember, in my younger life, right, when I had a different type of job or what have you, and I was directly interacting with clients, customers, whatever. And I always considered my family when I was interacting with them. How would I want my family, my parents or whatever, to be treated in this situation? And that's how I came at those circumstances. And I would, again, I know I'm naive, but I just figured, especially with something as sacred as burial, the final interaction with your loved one, whether or not it's cremation or burial, that the person that I'm trusting to, get my loved one to that point, I would just hope that they would be, I don't know, on better moral footing is all. I would just,
I mean, I wouldn't take it from a family member. God damn. Like that's a bridge too far. I wouldn't be like
I'm not saying that.
all right, stop. That's it. I got it.
You are so
I got it.
Anyway, all right, so that's it. Jeez, that's all we got for this week. Terrible.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I love y'all. I wouldn't take nothing off you, Chris.
Oh, okay. Don't believe you. Now,
You're my sister. I love you.
Yeah, okay. I'm telling my daughter to hide every bit of everything I got.
You ain't got to worry about. I'm finding. Y'all got anything? Y'all got anything left? Y'all got anything left?
No. Next week we'll, as Smitty alluded to at the beginning of the episode tonight, there are a few things that we have to iron out because his schedule with my nephew and his swimming now. So, but we will be doing in some form or fashion the bear next week, and Ironheart, and something else, and Duster. But
and the question will be: tune in to see if Smitty watches any part of Duster of the next episode. Just dropped an hour ago. It's like we're going to see if Smitty watches any part of it, or can he just extrapolate, say something, and pick out a scene that may have actually happened in the show.
I'm gonna watch it right now. Just get the shit over with.
You stupid.
No, don't watch it. Don't watch nothing, because I want to see if you can predict something else. It's like, oh, do you remember in that scene where they was hiding behind the barrel? It was like, yeah, that was probably the best thing. Yeah, exactly. It's like I want to see you sit there. It's like, but he was driving. We was driving where? He was in the desert. It was like, yeah, there you go. It was like, all right.
You are terrible.
Oh, yeah. I don't want you to watch nothing. I just want to see if you can predict it.
I think Saggy's got a question for you.
Yeah, I was gonna, but go ahead, Saggy. What's up? I was responding to her directly.
The Bear is a show. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
I said the Bear.
Yeah, Bear is a show.
Oh no, I meant the Bear.
It's the Bear.
I said
it's a show.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's about a chef and trying to get his life together as he's running a restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant.
That's the broad stroke.
Name of the restaurant is, or was it?
Also,
they changed the name.
It used to be called the Bear, right?
No, they changed it.
It's the Bear again. Yeah, they changed it again. It's the Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
it's
now
a very good show, Saggy.
Now we're trying to find out if he's on the Michelin list. Is the show the
if
one
he got a Michelin star? And I hope not.
You're asking what the name of the show was? It's called The Mortician. If I'm understanding.
Yeah, The Mortician was good.
Yeah, it
was good.
Shut up. It's a docu-series. It's a 3-part series on HBO Max. I can't stand you.
Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It helps us out. Saggy, want to thank you for your donation tonight. We really appreciate that. You're awesome, and we love having you here, whether you donate or not. Don't forget to join our Discord. It's absolutely free. You can talk about it, whatever show or movie that you want, and we'll get back to you and talk to you. I'll get back to you and talk to you probably right away. Are we gonna do some watch-alongs probably this weekend? If I can help it, maybe some tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Other than that, I love y'all. Stay out of trouble. Y'all got anything?
Nope, not at the moment.
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all be good. Stay out of trouble. treat each
All
other
right.
with kindness, man.
Yep.
Look out
Cheers,
for each
guys.
other.
And
Love y'all.
don't steal their jewelry. Cheers, guys.
Take all that shit. Take that.
You
It's
stupid.
great.